In a world that thrives on noise, chaos, and control, being mentally untouchable is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't write The Prince for the weak-hearted or morally naive. He wrote it for those who sought power, not just over others, but within themselves. This video is not for everyone. It's for the man who has been bruised, broken, doubted, and now seeks to rise. Because true inner power, it's silent, it's steady, and it's feared. The beginning of mental fortification. To become mentally untouchable, you must first discard the illusion that life will ever be fair, predictable, or just. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Understand this. If you allow yourself to be controlled by the love of comfort or the fear of rejection, failure, or judgment, you are not in control. You are a puppet. A mentally untouchable man removes his strings. He is not seduced by praise nor broken by insult. He understands that reputation is a shadow, while character is the root. What others say cannot touch the internal walls of his mind, because those walls are fortified with clarity, principle, and resolve. Power begins with solitude. Machiavelli often wrote about the value of isolation, not as withdrawal, but as strategic reflection. You cannot be mentally untouchable if you are always reacting. The world's noise is designed to distract you. Notifications, opinions, validation seeking. All of it makes you emotionally penetrable. To gain power, you must retreat, not out of fear, but to refocus your vision. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The mentally untouchable man doesn't wait for permission or consensus. He acts with purpose born in solitude. Solitude breeds clarity. Clarity births direction. Direction forges power. Embrace controlled ruthlessness. Machiavelli is often misinterpreted as evil. He was not. He was pragmatic. He knew that sometimes mercy is cruelty and cruelty is mercy. To be mentally untouchable, you must abandon naive idealism and accept the harsh truths of reality. Not everyone wants peace. Not everyone will honor your good intentions. Not everyone deserves your trust. This doesn't mean you become cynical. It means you become selective. He who becomes a master of dissimulation shall always find men who will let themselves be deceived. The mentally untouchable man doesn't deceive to harm. He conceals his depth because the world often weaponizes transparency. He shows enough to move the game, but never everything. He holds his cards close. And if he must strike, he strikes clean and leaves no wound unhealed, because he has nothing to prove, only objectives to complete. Emotional discipline is everything. Most men are slaves, not to others, but to their own emotional reactions. Machiavelli wrote, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." You do not become powerful by adopting a title, leader, boss, alpha. You become powerful when your mind no longer bows to emotional chaos. If someone insults you and you react, you've given them power. If a woman pulls away and you spiral, you've shown weakness. If failure crushes you, you are never committed to growth. The mentally untouchable man does not eliminate emotion. He masters it. He contains it. He uses it as fuel, not as a leash. He feels everything, but shows only what is tactically wise. Never beg for acceptance. One of Machiavelli's most enduring laws is to never rely on the goodwill of others. It is much safer to be feared than loved if one must choose. This doesn't mean you become a tyrant. It means you no longer chase approval. You do not become mentally untouchable by being everyone's favorite. You become mentally untouchable when you no longer fear being misunderstood, disliked, or doubted. You have to walk away from rooms where you're tolerated and only stay where you are respected. A Machiavellian man earns respect not by talking, but by results, boundaries, and silence. Patience as a weapon. Machiavelli didn't rush into battles. He observed. He planned. He waited. So must you. Patience isn't passive. It's calculated restraint. The mentally untouchable man understands the rhythm of timing. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Be adaptable. Wait for leverage. Don't expose your ambition too early. Most men rush. They need instant gratification. But a powerful man delays gratification because he understands the value of controlled outcomes. The more you wait with strategy, the less you bleed with regret. Silence is sovereignty. You don't need to respond to every insult. You don't need to announce every goal. You don't need to explain every action. Machiavelli understood the value of silence, not out of fear, but out of dominance. When you are silent, you are impossible to predict. The mentally untouchable man knows that power is diluted when overexposed. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Silence is your fox. Action is your lion. The art of psychological detachment. Machiavelli believed that a leader must operate outside of emotion in order to preserve vision. The modern man fails because he overinvests in outcomes beyond his control. You text her. She doesn't reply. You lose sleep. You try something new. You fail. You abandon the path. The mentally untouchable man detaches, not from life, but from outcome obsession. He does his part. He lets the results land where they may. He never begs, never chases, never needs. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Detachment is penetration. It's seeing beneath the surface. When you're no longer bound by outcomes, you are finally free. Master the illusion of emotion. You don't need to feel nothing. You need to control the display. People use your emotional expressions against you. So, when you feel anger, show calm. When you feel nervous, show confidence. When you feel heartbreak, show indifference. This isn't deception. It's protection. Because in a Machiavellian world, appearance is power. The mentally untouchable man wears masks, not to lie, but to lead. Final truth. You are either the fortress or the captive. In Machiavelli's time, rulers built fortresses, not just of stone, but of mind. They didn't show weakness. They didn't panic. They didn't crumble. You must become that fortress. The mentally untouchable man doesn't seek peace from the world. He builds it inside himself. He trains in solitude. He speaks with precision. He acts with calm intensity. He moves like time itself. Inevitable, patient, and unstoppable. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. So stop waiting for the world to be safe. Make your mind the safest place you know. Then, and only then, will you become mentally untouchable.